Hi, thank you for joining me today. My name is Jennifer. I am a Creative Memories advisor, and today we're going to be working on a layout from the 101 Scrapbooking Ideas and Sketches book, and it's going to be page 40 is the sketch we'll be working with. And we're going to use two different collections, the Totally Tonal Blue and the Totally Tonal Red, along with some navy cardstock for this layout. So let's get started. And in this sketch, I've got 3 vertical photos that I'm going to go ahead and put on the page. And I'm going to stay pretty true to the sketch itself. And the one thing that I am going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to gut some of the inside of the paper to kind of save, because it has 3 different layers. And my kids play sports, and I've got lots of blue and red papers that I have to use, and I have found that using the Totally Tonal Blue and the Totally Tonal Red as part of those 2 collections has come in handy, and I've been able to make some nice pages that are not necessarily sports themed, but they've got the sports pictures on them, but they're more colors for their club, their sport, their whatnot. So let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and get started on it, and we'll see how it can come together. And I am going to mat the photos, so I do have 3 mats that are already cut, and they are the 3.5 by 5.5, all 3 of them, so that I can get the 3 photos on the page. And I did pre-cut the little squares here. I used an old Creative Memories punch, the 1.25 inch, and I just kind of punched random ones that I had some spares, and I wanted to use up some scraps for that. And then I've got some ideas on which stickers and embellishments that I'm going to use on the page too. But first, what we're going to go ahead and do is cut the inside out of this. Because I use these papers, this blue and the red, a lot. Their school colors are blue and red, and so are their club sports teams also. So that's why I'm trying to save up everything that I can and use it either for mats or samples or scraps or whatever. So what I'm going to do is I've got this background paper on my 13 by 13 mat. And you can kind of see that we're leaving 1 inch around the border. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to cut 1.5 inches in and go from 1.5 inches here to 1.5 inches here and all the way around the paper to gut that out. And it's going to do 2 things. You can use this and save it for another purpose. You can use it on the layout, or this will also help take some of the bulk out of layering 3 different things on it. And we're going to go ahead and we're also going to do that same thing to the navy blue cardstock. Again, I go through a lot of blue, so that's why I'm trying to save as much as I can to reduce any costs that I have. Let's see. So what we're going to do, there's a couple of ways to do this. This is the Creative Memories trimmer, and this is probably one of the easier trimmers to try to do this on. You can use another trimmer and try to do this. You just may have to mark or indicate somewhere like a start and stop on the paper and on the trimmer so that you don't go over it. And what I mean by that is you can see that on the trimmer there are numbers to help you so you know where that 1.5 inch or the inch is. Another idea is you can put binder clips on here where you need to start and stop too, just to try to help gauge everything. And then the other nice thing is there is a line where the center of the blade is, so it helps you kind of start and stop. So hopefully my head doesn't get in the way today, and we'll start cutting. So I'm going to line it up, and I want that 1.5 inches, and I always put it at the top here, and I don't mark it. And maybe you call that the lazy way, or maybe it's just it's a way. And so I'm gonna line it up, line the white line up with that 1.5 inch mark on the trimmer. And then I'm gonna go all the way over to the 10.5 mark on the metal slider. So let me push down and go. And we're gonna get all the way over there. And you can, these grid lines on the edge will also help line that up. And I like to twist it and turn it sideways too to do this. And we're gonna go ahead and do the next cut. So we're gonna line it up at 1.5 inches. Make sure it's all straight all the way across. It keeps moving on me. Or I keep moving it. Place that down, and I'm gonna start back at the top and go that same direction again, just to keep things consistent so I don't get off track. And you can see it, cut it right away, and it's already starting to come apart, which is what we want. And we're gonna go ahead and do another one. And I'm gonna bring it back here to that 1.5 inches and slide it that way. And if for some reason you didn't get all the way over to that 1.5 inches, you could always come in, use your scissors, and just quick snip it off. It'll be behind your original sheet anyway, so it won't matter, and you won't necessarily see it, like if it's a little crooked for some odd reason. So now what we're gonna do is, this will be the outside part of our page, and we will save this for another use. I'm gonna go ahead and line that up. And then again, I told you we were gonna go ahead and do that same thing with the blue, and you can kind of see, I kind of left, the way that I did it, because we had that inch all the way around, I left 1/2 inch so that I could put my adhesive so that it's not sticky on the back. And sometimes I'm good about that, sometimes I'm not. And this next mat on the blue that we're gonna cut, because it's such a thin border, I'm gonna do 1 inch, because I think anything smaller than that, and you can always play with it too, but I'm gonna cut and leave 1 inch all the way around, just to give me a little bit more stability with the red, and then it'll also hide any imperfections. And you could go to 1/2 inch. I haven't necessarily done that, so I'm playing it safe on this one, but I'm still gonna try to save some of the cardstock. So we're gonna put, now this one, like I said, we're gonna do 1 inch. So we're gonna line that up at the 1. And because this is, it's 10.25 is the size of the paper, we're gonna come over here and we're gonna try to make sure we hit the 9.25. And because I'm doing 1 inch on this one, I do have a little bit more leeway. So like if something happens, I'm not too worried about it. Meaning if I cut too far one direction or the other, it's gonna be hidden anyway, so you won't see it or notice it. This is just one way to save on some of the paper costs and be able to try to stretch your supplies a little bit further. All right, so we got 2 more cuts. And line it up at the 1, slide it over to the 9.25. And I could, like I said, I could go back and forth, but just for consistency, so that I don't cut something unequal or off one side or another, I always go from the same direction. All right, so now what we're gonna eventually have is, I'm gonna line that up. We're gonna get this centered as close as we can to that 1 inch. And you can kind of see we'll have 1/2 inch to put adhesive around, and then we can put this frame on, and then we can go ahead and put this one on. And nobody ever notices that you took out a couple sheets of paper, and it's a lot thinner too, and it doesn't have as much bulk. So I'm going to attach this, and then we will start working on some of the die cuts and stickers and trying to pull it all out together. So a couple of things that happened while I was trying to assemble this. I did completely tear the blue border, and I did edit that out of here. And you can also see on the blue border, as I just attached it, I put the adhesive too far in and not close enough to the outside edge. So I did still end up with that sticky back that I was trying to prevent from happening. Okay, so now we're going to start putting down some of the die cuts and some of the stickers, and we'll start laying some of that out. And again, these are 1 1/4 inch squares, and they will line up nicely here. I just got to get them spaced correctly to put them in. And I'm going to move these around because I don't want them, maybe I'll do this one over here. I don't want all the blue heavily weighted on one side. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, we'll attach that in a minute, lay out some of the other elements on the page. And just looking to make sure I get the placement that I wanted. And then we've got this, it's going to use this side to go across the top. And this is just like a 3/8 of an inch little strip. And that would be about 10 inches across. And I'm gonna hang this banner. It's gonna go up here and kind of overlap. And I will use some foam tape to raise that up a little bit so that it'll kind of overhang on some of the photos. And then I've got this that I'm going to use at the bottom down here, with this is going to go up here. And then I'm going to bring in, and I'm not quite so sure which one, so we'll see what happens here. But I am going to bring in one of the words on the sticker sheet and put it down here as well, and then look for one more small little sticker to use in here so that I have a cluster of 3. So I'm gonna work on attaching, and we will come back after that to see the finished layout. All right, and there you have it. The layout is finished. I got everything attached down. A couple of things that maybe I could have done a little bit differently is put this whole little piece together and then tried to foam tape it and raise it up at the end. And then this one, you saw me try to use up all of the foam tape right up until the very, very end. And I did what I could, but I did end up having to throw some away, which is a little disheartening. Then the other thing, because I'm not putting the photos on here right away, the other thing you saw me do is I put the tape in the middle, closer to the middle of the photo mat, so that I can easily tuck the photo that belongs here underneath. And then the rest of these should be fine, because this was the only one that was really impacted by the placement of the photo mat. And really the only thing that I have left is a little bit of journaling down here at the bottom. And for this layout, this is going to be a hockey. I do have the photos printed, I just don't have them here ready to go. But they are candid shots of some hockey players and some teammates. So I've got 3 photos that I will place along here, and then call this one good after some journaling. So enjoy, and thanks for watching.